So we got a new episode of The Mandalorian, The Mines of Mandalore, and I have to tell you, I am really enjoying what they're doing with this season so far. I really am enjoying what they're doing with the overall season so far this year, because it feels like that everything is going to be more connected. In this episode, we see Mando go even further, where he's actually going to Mandalore to try to go into the mines of Mandalore in order to basically just walk through the waters and then try to repent his basically his sins for taking off his helmet and be reaccepted back into, you know, his little cult of the Mandalorians. And in this episode, what I really liked was it was really character driven, and for the most part, there was only three characters, two actual characters. No, that's not true, because we do go back to Tatooine and we do get to see the mechanic lady again. But other than that, it was just Bo-Katan and Mando, and that was really cool because we got to see a lot and got to hear a lot about the lore and some of the stories behind old Mandalore and its destruction, and how Bo-Katan was once part of the royal family. And we all knew this for the most part, but it's really like it felt, I personally, as a Star Wars fan, I felt something when Bo-Katan is walking through the wreckage and she's just looking at it and she's like, it wasn't like this before. You know, it used to be really beautiful, you know, and all this stuff. And we kind of see that, right? If you watch Clone Wars, if you watch Rebels, we know what Mandalore used to look like, and the fact that the Empire just completely wrecked everything, and it looks like it's been that way for generations, but really it's only been a couple decades, and the Empire just completely just ran shop on Mandalore. And what I really like about this episode compared to the other couple seasons was season 1, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, for the most part, they all connected, but they all kind of ended, like they beginning and ended, right? You can watch episode 2 and it's one complete story. You can watch episode 3 and it's one complete story. Season 2 was a little more connected, but for the most part, you watch like episode 4, it's one contained story, right? It's all episodic, whereas episode 1 ends sort of on a cliffhanger. Episode 2, 100% ends on a cliffhanger. And to me, that's what creates engaging television, right? When you're looking at something like you know, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, The Last of Us, Sopranos, or some of these great epic television series, why are these series so great? Why are they so, you know, like critically acclaimed? It's because they make the audience want more. And I really like the fact that you see this weird looking alien, or I don't know what it is, like an alien fish or something. I don't know. It's massive. And then Bo-Katan saves Mando. They get up on the shore, and then it just ends. And you don't know what's going to happen until next week. And it makes you go like, oh my God, I wish I could just fast forward to next Wednesday and watch what happens next. And I think that was something that was really missing from the first 2 seasons. They fixed that a little bit in the second season, where stuff was a little more connected. Season 1 was very much like side quest of the week. All right, we're going on this quest. And that's another thing that I'm really enjoying about this season, is it isn't just like, oh, let's go do this side quest. Because this was season 1, when he went back to Tatooine in this episode to talk to the mechanic, and he wanted the droid part or whatever. You know darn well if this was season 1 or early season 2, they'd be like, yeah, we have it, but you have to go over there and do this, 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 and this to get it. Whereas in this one, it's just like, look, I need this part. You don't have it. Okay, I'll take this droid. And they go straight to Mando, right? Where I feel like season 1, it would have took like 3 to 4 episodes to get to Mandalore. You know, like everything would have been a side quest. He went to Navarra in episode 1, right? You thought for sure there was going to be some kind of side quest with the pirates, but there wasn't. And then we get here and he goes to Tatooine. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a whole episode of Tatooine. We're going to spend here and we're going to do stuff with the Jawas in order to get the side quest and get the part that you need to go to Mandalore. No, it was like a 5-minute scene. Boom, he's on Mandalore. And then we see him go to Mandalore and we get a lot of rich lore about the scenery, about the planet, about what happened there. We see Mando use the Darksaber. And for the record, Bo-Katan should definitely be wielding that Darksaber, because she definitely knows how to use that Darksaber way more than Din does. So I definitely think, like, at some point, I feel sorry for Bo-Katan. I really feel sorry for Bo-Katan because she lost her sister to Darth Maul. She lost her entire planet. She became in charge for a short period of time at the end of Rebels when Sabine handed her over the Darksaber. The Empire came to completely wreck shop over her planet. Her father died. This woman has lost everything. And for her to come back and to go into the mines of Mandalore and save Din, I think that was a real, like, oh my God moment. And I like the fact that she's wielding the Darksaber because Bo-Katan can kick some serious ass. And another person that's been kicking some ass, who I'm surprised with, is Grogu. Grogu is really like coming into his own. You can see where he's been doing some training, and he's really kind of walking about now, doing certain things, and he's actually, you know, he saved Din by going back to Bo-Katan, by using the Force on those stupid little creature things and stuff like that. His powers aren't like super maxed out or anything. He still has a lot of training to go, but you can see the time, the months and year or whatever he spent with Luke, he picked up a few things, and now he's using that, also learning the ways of a Mandalorian as well. And I think he's going to combine that too. And I wouldn't be surprised at some point maybe Grogu wields the Darksaber. I don't know how realistic that is. I do think they need to go into some capacity where Bo-Katan has to unite the Mandalorians again. I think that's a route that has to happen. If they're going to rebuild Mandalore, Bo-Katan is going to have to take charge of the Mandalorians. And that means children of the Watch or whatever that weird group is, this is the way. You know, they have a weird cult culture where they don't take their helmet off, and they're like their own little splinter cell within the Mandalorian culture. But I think Bo-Katan is going to have to unite the Mandalorians together if they're ever going to rebuild Mandalore back to what Mandalore used to be, which was a great civilization of warriors. And I really like all that we're getting in this episode. And I just hit my mic. And I'm really glad that we're getting like all these little details. A lot of people probably look at this episode and go, oh, this is a very slow episode. But when you look at the whole like conversations and dialogue that was going on in this episode is really rich in lore. And when you can give me a lot of backstory and keep me engaged and make me feel about these characters, this was an episode that was essentially only just two characters, and that was Din and Bo-Katan. And then, of course, they had the puppet, which is Grogu, and they were able to keep me engaged through that entire period of time because the story and the lore was so rich. And I cared about these characters. I cared about Mando going to repent himself. I care about, you know, Bo-Katan and the history of her and her family and the loss of her people and loved ones. I cared about the story. And I think that's something that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni is really doing very, very well so far in this season, even though it's only been 2 episodes. So overall, I absolutely love the episode. I like what they're doing with season 3. I want to see where they're going to continue on with this. I want to get more deep into the lore. I want to see more about what's going on in the New Republic right now. I'm still not entirely sure if this is post or is this like pre or post the Battle of Jakku. I'm not entirely sure on that. I believe it might be post Jakku, but I want to see more about what the state of the New Republic is and the universe and stuff at this particular time. But overall, solid episode. I want to know what you guys think. Be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. And until next time, as always, I'm Robert Storms, and that's my opinion. Later, guys.